Salut les amis, hello my friends, I hope you're doing good. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nicolas. I am a native French speaker and also a French teacher here in France. And the goal of this video will be to be a full guide about how to properly introduce yourself in French. Verbally, meaning that we're going to see all the sentences that you have to use to introduce yourself in French. The goal will be to see the grammar behind each of these sentences, so you don't just learn expressions and words by heart, but you actually understand what you say when you introduce yourself or when you ask a question to someone so they can introduce themselves. But we will also look at it physically. We're going to talk about when are you supposed to shake hands with someone and when are you supposed to give a small kiss on the cheek when you greet someone in France, because I know that this topic is very, very interesting and very painful sometimes for a lot of foreign learners, okay? Just before starting, I want to review quickly every point that we will talk about in this video, okay? So it's not possible to review every possible thing that you might have to say when you introduce yourself because it would be counterproductive, and my goal was really to make this video not too long and full of value for you, all right? So I have selected what I consider to be the most important, the most basic things that you will have to say to introduce yourself, okay? I really encourage you to check the description of the video so you can see the timestamps and you can see when I will be talking about what topic. First of all will be saying hello in French using two main group of expressions, including ça va, which can be really troublesome for a lot of foreign people, I know, from students. Then we will talk about physical contact, so handshake and kissing on the cheeks. Then how to tell your name, greeting someone, talking about your nationality, your country, your age, okay, but also asking this information to the other person. And finally, how to say goodbye in two different groups of way also. And finally, at the end of everything, first of all, I will do a quick summary of everything that we've seen today, so you can really focus on the video first and at the end, take notes during the summary. And also, we will do a short exercise at the end of the video to review everything that we have learned so far, and so you can also practice by yourself at home. All right, if that's okay for you, we can start right now with the first part, which is dire bonjour or saying hello. So here I have listed the three most common ways you can say hello to someone, okay? First is bonjour, bonjour. It is literally the equivalent of saying hello in English, okay? You may be already familiar with bonjour, just like, you know, sometimes people, they know how to say hello in different languages. This is the most generic way you can say hello to someone. It is never inappropriate, it's never impolite, it's like you cannot go wrong with bonjour, okay? Then you have salut, salut. You don't hear the T, okay? Salut is the equivalent of hi in English, okay? So it's exactly the same as hello, but you use it usually in a slightly less formal context, okay? For example, if you arrive in a new workplace and you meet your boss for the first time, you won't say salut, you will say bonjour, okay? And then, actually, bonjour and salut are completely enough, but I personally wanted to add bonsoir, bonsoir, which is like good evening in English. I added this one because I think it's a nice touch, you know, like it can be a bit charming, you know, like if you're in France and you're a foreign person and you say bonsoir at the right time of the day, it's kind of like you say good evening in English. It shows that you're doing some extra effort to know the vocabulary and to know the right words to use and everything. So I think it's a really nice touch. Bonsoir, you will use it basically in the evening, maybe like 5, 6, 7 p.m. when you greet someone, okay? So bonjour, salut, and bonsoir, they are fixed expression, okay, fixed term. But I think, you know, on a personal note, it's still interesting to note that bon in French is an adjective that means good, jour is a noun that means day, and soir is a noun that means evening. So when you say bonjour et bonsoir, you're literally saying good day, good evening, okay? But we have stick them together, okay? So we don't say them in two different words, we say them in one word, okay? Bonjour, bonsoir. All right? That's for the easy part. Now, for the part that's a bit more tricky, we will talk about using ça va, okay? First of all, before we start, I want you to watch the following video talking about ça va, okay? Before you watch it, please keep in mind that, in my opinion, this video is an actual, accurate portrayal of how people really speak in France, okay? It's not exaggerated, it's like literally people, they really speak like this in France when they greet each other, okay?
Salut, ça va? Victoire? André, ça va? Bonjour.
Ça va?
Ça va et toi?
Bien, bien.
Bonjour.
Salut, ça va?
Ça va?
Comment ça va? Et toi? Super.
So, in the video, you may have heard and noticed the following expressions. Ça va? Comment ça va? Ça va et toi? Ça va. Ça va bien. So we can use ça va in many ways and we're going to sort it out, okay? First of all, you can hear that ça va? Comment ça va? Ça va et toi? Are questions. Usually you can notice that there are questions because the tone of the voice goes slightly up, slightly high at the end of the sentence. For example, I don't say ça va, I say ça va, like this, okay? And ça va in a neutral tone, ça va bien. They are not questions, they are statements, okay? So we can use ça va both for questions and for statements. So if you literally translate ça va in English, it means something like it goes. Okay, so obviously it's not interesting to translate it literally. Basically, you may have understood by now, ça va is the equivalent in French of how are you, okay? The thing is that when you ask ça va, it means how are you? And when you just say ça va, it means I'm good. So it's both the question and the answer, okay? The only way you can differentiate the question and the answer is by the tone of the voice. When I'm asking the question, I say ça va? You can hear obviously my voice is very high at the end, right? Ça va? And when I answer, I will say ça va. Okay? I think it's easy to understand. Now, it's important to note that even though it's a question that means how are you, when you say ça va, you use it in the exact same way as saying bonjour or salut in French, okay? You're not literally asking the person how they are doing, okay? So when someone asks you ça va, basically you never say no, you never answer no, because this was not a real question to really know how are you, okay? When you ask ça va, you have to take it exactly as the same as saying bonjour, all right? So you always answer yes. Like you don't have to literally answer yes, but you answer positively to the question. Always, because it's just a form of greeting, it's not a real question. Okay? I know some foreign people it can be a bit tricky for some people to grasp this concept. Okay? So we said that ça va is how are you in English. All right? Now, how about comment ça va? Comment ça va is literally also how are you. The thing is that comment in French, comment means how. So actually the real question is comment ça va, but very often we shorten it to just ça va. Ça va? Okay. So ça va et comment ça va are exactly the same. Okay. It's really up to you to add comment before ça va. It's really you to decide. If you say comment or if you don't say comment, there is no difference of context. There is not like one is formal, one is informal, one is polite, one is impolite or anything. It's exactly the same. Okay? So no issue about this. And if you're confused, you just ask ça va. Also, it's interesting to note that in this question, comment ça va, since there is the word comment at the beginning, and comment means how, so it's a question word, I don't have to emphasize my tone so much because the word comment already implies that this is a question. So I don't have to use my tone so much. So usually I will say ça va, comment ça va? You know what I mean? When I say ça va, if I don't exaggerate my tone, people might mistake it for a statement instead of a question. So I really make my tone super high at the end, okay? Ça va? But when I say comment ça va, I don't have to emphasize it so much because the word comment already implies that this is a question. All right? Then finally, we have ça va et toi? Et toi is literally and you. So it's like I'm good and you. Okay? By the way, when someone asks you ça va et toi? Sometimes it's okay not to answer because once again, when you say et toi, it's not a real question. It's just part of the greeting. All right? So then we have ça va, I'm good for the statements, right? Not the questions anymore. Ça va, I'm good. And ça va bien, I'm good. Once again, it's exactly the same. Bien means good in French. So ça va bien. They are both exactly the same. They are both equally formal, informal, anything. And they are never inappropriate or anything. Okay, so don't worry about this. You can answer ça va or ça va bien. Now, just a small note about the phonetic. Why do we have this weird thing below the C? Okay, normally in French, C-A is pronounced K. All right, but in some context, we want it to sound it like S. Okay, we want the C to sound like S, like an S. All right, but we don't want to turn it into a S. We want to keep it as a C. So we just put this thing below, and suddenly it's pronounced sa. All right. Obviously, this is not a super satisfying explanation, but this is just to understanding this concept is not relevant to introducing yourself. Okay, you know what I mean. And if you're interested, this is called a CDI. Okay, this is for the grammatical technical part. So just before going to physical contact, I will play the video one more time for you to really hear the ça va. And if that's fine by you, right after the video, we will switch to the hottest topic, I think, of this guide, which is physical contact.
Salut, ça va? Victoire. André, ça va? Bonjour.
Ça va?
Ça va et toi?
Bien, bien.
Bonjour.
Salut, ça va?
Ça va?
Comment ça va? Et toi? Super.
So, as you may know, there are basically two ways that you can have physical contact with someone when you are saying hello to them. There is the handshake and the small kiss that you give on the cheek, and I know that a lot of foreign people are really troubled by this kiss on the cheek and they are wondering what are the rules basically about this. This is what we are going to review, okay? So we're going to review when is it okay to do it, depending on whether you're a man or a woman, and whether you're greeting a man or a woman, obviously, and also depending on the overall context, okay? First of all, some vocabulary. What we call faire la bise in French means the small kiss on the cheek, okay? Even though it's not really a kiss, but we will talk about this. So you shouldn't try to translate this expression literally. Let's consider for now that it's a fixed expression, okay? But from now on, when I say la bise or faire la bise, I refer specifically to this.
Et alors aujourd'hui, on va s'intéresser, je me permets de lui faire la bise, on va s'intéresser justement.
So obviously it's not possible to review every possible situation and outcomes, okay, that may happen. But here I will give you general guidelines that you can follow and that will work, in my opinion, 99% of the time. And I will always go to the safest thing that you can do because my main objective is for you to avoid awkward situations, okay? Because from my experience, I think what most foreign people are afraid of is to create an awkward situation. Typically, they imagine themselves kissing on the cheek when they shouldn't do it, okay? Anyway, so first of all, if you are in a formal context, like let's say an office, for example, in my opinion, you should go for handshake with everyone, whether you're a man or a woman, you're greeting a man or a woman. If you're in a formal context, you don't really know the people here, you just shake hands with everyone. Then later you will learn the specific dynamics of this place, okay? But in the beginning, you just shake hands. Sometimes in some workplaces, you can have women doing la bise, okay? Usually it's like women among themselves, like two women together. But if the workplace is not too formal, they will do this right at the beginning. But I still suggest that you just go for shaking hands if you're not so sure what to do in the beginning. Now, in informal context, so they are not like your friends, but they are like people you meet for a gathering of foreign people or for some kind of event, for example, these kind of things. Now I'm talking about what people usually do, like what people go for traditionally in France. Usually, if a woman is involved, you will do la bise. So whether it's two women together or if it's a man and a woman, you will do la bise to greet each other, okay? If you're not comfortable, then you can just say like, hi, you know, like doing like this with your hands. You don't have to shake hands or anything because in my opinion, it's a bit awkward. Like for example, two women in a formal context shaking hands, it's like you can see this in France, it's very common. But in an informal context, it's a bit awkward, to be honest, okay? So usually you will go for la bise, and if for any reason you're not comfortable, don't feel bad, can happen. Or if you just don't want to do it, or if you're stressed, like I don't know, you just like wave your hand to say hi, for example, and that's it, but you don't do anything else. Now for two men in an informal context, usually they will always go for shaking hands, okay? It's possible for men to do la bise together, but usually you will do this with your friends. We're going to see this right now. Usually in informal context, when you don't know the person, two men, they don't kiss each other on the cheek, they shake hands, all right? Just like on the picture here. Now in a friendly context, just like I wrote, obviously you don't really need me to tell you what to do because, you know, if they are your friends, then you know already how to greet them. But just as an information, in France, nothing is socially forbidden, you know, like if your friends, like two men can kiss on the cheek, it's completely normal. You can hug your friends, you can do anything, like that's perfectly fine, okay? Okay guys, I hope this is clear for you. I have summarized every information about physical contact on this tab right here. So W means woman, M means man, okay? And so you can pause the video right here and you have every information I gave you so far. Finally, I want to play for you a very short video explaining in a kind of a funny way, okay, how to actually doing la bise, how to actually do it in the proper way, okay? I didn't make the video myself, so I will put the reference and the link in the description of this video right here.
So these are the rules of doing la bise. Step 1, make eye contact. Step 2, take a step forward. Not too close,
Okay.
and not too far away.
Right.
Just about this distance. Step 3, put your hand on their arm or their upper shoulder.
Okay, I'm gonna go with arm.
And then you move in, applying your cheek to their cheek and making a little kissing noise. Now, in Paris, you start on the left and then you do 2 kisses.
That's really important to know which
Because
side.
or else you get into one of these and you don't want to get into one of those. Very important thing, never really kiss the cheek.
Because that's awful.
It's gross. And you also have to make a kissing noise because or else it just sounds empty. So, once again. And voila.
Perfect.
And don't forget, practice makes perfect.
So obviously the video is kind of made in a funny way, okay? But still the informations that the woman gives are all relevant and accurate, okay? So just a bit of last information to give you to avoid every awkwardness, okay? She said it in the video, but I want to insist a bit on the last information. You should never actually touch the cheek of the person with your lips, okay? Because this is really, really creepy. This is really gross. Like no one does this, okay? If you do this, it's just like super awkward. Or actually, there is, I don't know why, it's kind of fun to me when I think about it. There is like one category of people in France who can actually really touch the cheeks with their lips when they do la bise. These are grandmothers. I don't know why, but a lot of grandmothers in France, they like to do this when they greet you. They actually really give you a real kiss on the cheek. But you know, it's like, they are grandmothers, so it's kind of cute. For them, it's not creepy. It's cute and everyone knows that they do this and you know, that's it. But if you're watching this video, you may not be a grandmother. And so if you're not, I really, really advise you not to do it because it's just really, really creepy. Like no one does this. Second information, don't forget to make the small kissing noise, you know. Even if you're not really kissing and you're just like touching the cheek like this, you should still do the noise, okay? Because if you don't do this, it's just really weird and a bit awkward also. Then just consider that you have to start by going in the left direction with your head, so you will kiss the right cheek of the person, and that you will do 2 kisses, okay? It's true that in some provinces of France, people do a bit differently, but it's uncommon, and I don't want to trouble you with like too many information and more information than necessary, okay? Anyway, you should know that even for native French people, it happens to everyone once in a while to encounter an awkward situation. You want to go on the left and maybe the person goes on the right. Maybe for some reason today you didn't wake up properly, you don't know what happened, and you don't do the things properly when you do la bise. Like, it can happen to everyone, you know. If it happens to you every day, there might be an issue specifically with you. But if it happens to you once, like an awkward situation, it's really okay. So don't overthink it, okay? And finally, I have put one last video in the description that is in French, more challenging, more complicated to understand. But you know, if you want to, after you watch this full guide, I encourage you to check it. And it's like about 2 women talking about la bise from a historical point of view and everything. You can use it as a B1, B2 listening exercise with a lot of people kissing each other on the cheek in the video, okay? If that's fine by you, let's move to the next section. Right, so how to give your name in French, all right? The sentence, like the basic sentence, will be je m'appelle, and then you give your prénom, which is the first name. For example, for me, my name is Nicolas. I will say je m'appelle Nicolas. Je m'appelle Nicolas. All right? So like I was saying, le prénom in French means the first name. Nom is a generic word to say the name of someone, okay? So if you're in a administrative context, prénom is first name, nom is last name. But sometimes in the everyday language, we can just say nom to mean like the name of someone, you know, meaning their first or last name, okay? Basically, my first name is Nicolas. So the sentence will be je m'appelle Nicolas, all right? Je is the sujet. So sujet is like the subject, like I, you, he, she, and everything. Je is I. Tu is you. Okay, we will need tu a lot because we will also see how to ask the question. So in this sentence, je m'appelle Nicolas. Je means I. Okay. M'appelle, it's a specific kind of verb. For those of you who are already a bit advanced, ce sont les verbes pronominaux. I'm not going to go in detail in this because this is like a specific grammar point and it's not relevant to how to introduce yourself. Just remember that the verb appeler in French means to call, okay? So actually when I say je m'appelle, the literal translation is I call myself. If I say tu t'appelles, the literal translation is you call yourself, okay? But in English you wouldn't say I call myself, you call yourself, okay? So the accurate translation of this is my name is, all right? So you shouldn't try to translate it literally from French to English or in the other way. In French we say je m'appelle Nicolas. My name is Nicolas. Tu t'appelles Nicolas. Your name is Nicolas. Okay? Now, you may know about this or not, but when you talk to someone in French, you have 2 ways to talk to them. You can say tu, which means you, or vous, which also means you. Okay? What you have to remember is that tu is you in an informal way. Vous is you in a formal way. And it's important because all the verbs that you use to talk to someone, they will change. So you will write them and tell them, like pronounce them differently, whether you are talking in the informal way or the formal way, okay? But you will see that it's not too difficult, honestly. So just remember this, tu et vous. Okay, now I want to ask someone's name. I will say, tu t'appelles comment? So we already seen this, huh? Tu t'appelles, you call yourself. Comment, we've seen this in the beginning when I was talking about comment ça va. Comment is the question word to say how. So literally, it means you call yourself how. Okay, it's kind of easy to understand, right? Tu t'appelles comment? Tu t'appelles comment? All right, and now, if I'm talking to the formal way, remember, it's not tu anymore, it's vous. And now it will be vous vous appelez comment? Vous vous appelez comment? Alright, so vous vous appelez, you call yourself in the formal way. Comment is still how. Okay, so you call yourself how. It's exactly the same translation, exactly the same sentence, but the first one, tu t'appelles comment, is informal, et vous vous appelez comment is formal. Alright? Now, something to note, you may have noticed that when I say it, I say vous vous appelez comment. It's like vous appelez comment. There's a Z sound. Z. Vous vous appelez comment. Okay, this comes from the fact that in French, I will not go too much into detail, but let's say, to be as generic as possible, sometimes between words, when one word ends with a vowel that you don't hear, like here we say vous, there's a S at the end, but you don't hear it. We don't say vous, we say vous. And the next word start with, a consonant, okay, S, a consonant. And the next word starts with a vowel, here A, okay. Then we make a link between them, like here, vous appelez, okay. And the S will sound like Z, all right. Actually, in this sentence, what you see is vous vous appelez comment, but what you pronounce is vous vous appelez comment. All right? I don't go too much in detail about this because if I start to do this for every sentence and every time we make a link between the sound, this video will be like 4 hours long, okay? But when you hear me say sounds like this, zappeler, that sound good and logical and natural, but that you cannot see really written here, just remember this concept, okay? And the reason that we do this, why we do this, it's so it sounds more natural and it keeps the natural flow of the words and of the musicality of the language, all right? This is a super easy, a super fast summary of the situation, but it's just for you to keep in mind, all right? Let's move on. So, when I say tu t'appelles comment, vous vous appelez comment, you really have the subject, okay, in blue. Tu is you, is the subject. Vous is you, it's also the subject. The reason you have tu and t apostrophe and vous, this is because, as I was saying, this verb here is a bit special, but it's not relevant and it's not useful for you to go in detail about this. Okay, donc tu t'appelles comment? Appel is the verb, it's the action of calling. Appeler is the same verb, but conjugated for vous, all right? Et comment means how. Okay, so it is exactly the same sentence structure, all right? Now, this is an informal dialogue and it's a really realistic dialogue, okay? So this is possible. In France, you can have this exact conversation. It is 100% normal and natural. Bonjour. Bonjour. Tu t'appelles comment? Je m'appelle Nicolas. Et toi? Je m'appelle Sylvie. All right, I have put in bold the thing that will change depending on if it's informal or formal, okay? Remember, we've seen et toi in the beginning when I was talking about ça va et toi, okay? This is the exact same dialogue but in a formal way. Bonjour, bonjour. Vous vous appelez comment? Je m'appelle Nicolas. Et vous? Je m'appelle Sylvie. So now, et toi becomes et vous because it's a formal context. Okay? I think from until here, there's nothing too difficult about this. Now, about greeting someone by using a specific word. Okay, so there was many words that I could have used for this section of the video, but to keep it easy and simple, I will just give you the easiest one, most basic, which is enchanté. Enchanté. The translation of enchanté is literally nice to meet you. Okay, You shouldn't try to translate it. It's a fixed word. No one really think about the meaning of the word. It's just the equivalent of nice to meet you. And how to use it, if I just take the same dialogue as before. Bonjour. Bonjour. Comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Nicolas. Et toi? Je m'appelle Sylvie. Enchanté. Enchanté. Alright, that's it. Just nice to meet you. Enchanté. Okay? I think it's pretty straightforward. Now, next big section talking about your country and your nationality. So we will see how to tell someone where do you come from, okay? I'm sorry, my voice is a bit, I've been talking a lot today because, outside of these videos, I also give real classes, to people. And so sometimes when I talk a lot during the day, the throat becomes painful at some point a bit because you talk and talk and talk. And, I think everyone who's done this kind of job, they know what I'm talking about. So my voice sounds a bit weak maybe, but okay, don't try to not pay attention to it too much. So talking about your nationality, how do you do? First, you go online or you go to, Duolingo or anything that you're using, and you find how to say the name of your country in French, okay? Par exemple, example, Iran. Iran is Iran. I think in English is Iran, okay? Iran. Then you check how to say the nationality, all right? Like in English, you would have the country, Iran, and the nationality is like Iranian or Iranian, I think. Okay, like someone from Iran, okay? Just like you have France and French, okay? So in French, it will be Iran, the country, et Iranien, la nationalité, all right? Now, be careful. If you're a male or if you're a man or a woman, the nationality might be pronounced differently. For example, a man is Iranien and a woman is Iranienne, okay? But the way to convert the male version into the female version of the word, the male version is usually considered to be the neutral version, and then if you want to convert it to female version, it's not always the same rule. Depending on the name of the country and the name of the nationality, you will have different rules to convert it into a female, okay? So be careful if you're a woman, be careful of how to say your nationality in the female version of it, okay? So let's say you're a woman from Iran, you will say Iranienne, okay? If you're a man from Iran, you will say Iranien. For me, country is France, nationality is français, and for a French woman, it will be française, okay? Now, the sentence to talk about your country is je viens de, and then the name of the country, okay? So pays, here, pays means country, okay? Exemple, je viens de France, all right? The name of my country is France, donc je viens de France is I come from France, okay? Je, we've seen it already, it's I, okay? And tu et vous are you and you in the informal and formal way. We've seen it already. Donc je is I. Viens comes from the verb venir, which means to come in English. So literally, I come. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Je viens, I come. If I'm asking someone, it will be tu viens, you come, or vous venez, you come. Donc tu viens is you come, but in the informal way. Vous venez is you come, but in the formal way, okay? And de is a grammatical word, okay? It's a grammar word that you can use in many contexts. You cannot just translate it. But in this context, de means from, basically, okay? Donc, je viens de is literally I come from all right? For example, je viens de France. I come from France. Okay? Now, if the name of your country starts with a vowel, all right? Like, for example, Iran, okay? Iran starts with a I, right? Then, le de will become the apostrophe. And that's it. Okay? That's all you have to remember. So you don't say, je viens de Iran. You say, je viens d'Iran. Okay? Why we do this? Once again, we do this to keep the musicality of the French language that tries to always, as much as possible, alternate between consonant sounds and vowel sounds. Okay, donc je viens de Iran sounds like there's something there, like there's a glitch, you know, like you doesn't sound so good. But je viens d'Iran sounds really more fluid, basically. Okay, this is my explanation for it. Donc je viens de France, je viens d'Iran, because France starts with a consonant, Iran starts with a vowel. Okay? Now, for the nationality, the sentence is je suis, and then the nationality, like you've been looking for in the beginning, right? I told you to look for how to say it. Donc, je viens d'Iran, I come from Iran. If I'm a man, je suis iranien. If I'm a woman, je suis iranienne. All right? And actually, I say like this, je suis iranien, because I'm really like emphasizing on each word. But if I'm talking naturally, I will make a link between the S here and the I here. So it will be je suis iranien. Okay? Je suis iranien, je suis iranienne. All right? I hope that's clear for you. When I say je suis français, je suis iranien, je suis iranienne, suis is the verb être, which is to be in English. Okay? Donc je suis means literally I am. And for tu et vous, it will be tu es, vous êtes. Okay? Vous êtes. You are. Tu es is you are in the informal way. Vous êtes, you are in the formal way, ok? Donc, tu viens de France, you come from France, ok? From everything that we've seen so far, you're able to understand this sentence if everything all right. Hein? Tu viens de France, you come from France. Tu viens d'Iran, you come from Iran, ok? Tu viens d'où? You come from where? All right, so this is how to ask the question. Where do you come from? Tu viens d'où? Okay, you can already guess où, like this, OU, où is the question word for where. Okay, so literally, to ask someone where do you come from, you're just saying, you come from where? It's just like you come from France. This is a statement, but you come from where? This is suddenly a question. So, tu viens d'où is literally where do you come from? And this is how you say, okay? Tu viens d'où? So, où like this is the question word for where in English. So now, let's look at the dialogue. Tu viens d'où? Je viens de France. Et toi? Je suis iranienne. All right? She could answer also, je viens d'Iran. But she answers, je suis iranienne. Because when she says, je suis iranienne, it implies in her answer that she comes from Iran, right? Because she's Iranian, all right? And I showed you earlier, tu es, vous êtes, okay? And also there were, tu viens et vous venez, okay? So from this, you can try yourself, you can see this as an exercise, to convert this dialogue in the formal way, okay? You can pause the video right here and you write down this dialogue in the formal way. Vous venez d'où? Je viens de France. Et vous? Je suis iranienne. Okay? Here you know how to talk about your nationality and your country. I think we're reaching the last section of the informations. So, how to tell someone your age, okay? The sentence is j'ai, then the X here means the number, okay? Like 25, 20, 34, okay? J'ai, en. This is en. All right? Par exemple, j'ai 25 ans. J'ai 58 ans. Okay, 25, 25. You don't know the number by now, that's fine, but I'm still reading them in French. Anyway, you have them in digits so you can understand what I mean. J'ai 25 ans, I am 25 years old. J'ai 58 ans, I am 58 years old. Okay? So, j'ai comes from the verb avoir in French, avoir, which means to have. So this is a big difference with English. There are a lot of informations that you give in English saying I am, that in French you say I have. For example, in English you say I am 20 years old, I am cold, I am hungry, I am hot, I am thirsty. In French we say I have 20 years old, I have hungry, I have cold, I have hot. Okay, anyway. So here, j'ai literally means I have. Okay, I have. And for you and you will say tu as, so you have in the informal way. Et vous avez, you have in the formal way. Okay, donc j'ai, en. I have, years old. Okay, en means years old basically, okay? But in French, en means year, and if I put a S at the end, it means that there's more than one. So if you're 1 year old, you will say j'ai un an, and there won't be a S. But I'm assuming that if you watch this video, you're probably more than 1 year old, so you have to put a S here when you write it, okay? For example, j'ai 25 ans, j'ai 50 ans, j'ai 100 ans, okay? I don't even know if you can talk already at 1 year old. I don't think you can talk. I don't know so much. So, for example, tu as 25 ans. Tu as 25 ans. Once again, don't focus on the number. If you don't know the numbers, it's not important by now. You are 25 years old. Tu as 65 ans. You are 65 years old. Tu as quel âge? You are what age? And now it's the same logic. I think you get it by now, right? It means how old are you? So the question to ask how old are you is literally the same sentence as giving someone's their age, like saying how old they are, but you replace their age by the question word, which is here quel âge? Okay, donc tu as quel âge? How old are you? Quel is like a generic question word that means what or which, okay? And âge means age, okay? It's the same word, just we put like a small accent like this on the top. So, tu as quel âge? Literally translated, it means you are what age, okay? But obviously it means how old are you, okay? So, informal dialogue. Tu as quel âge? J'ai 29 ans. Et toi? J'ai 34 ans. You can pause the video here and you write it down in the formal way, okay? And also you practice reading it out loud and later you compare your pronunciation to mine. Vous avez quel âge? J'ai 29 ans. Et vous? J'ai 34 ans. Ok? C'est bon? No. All right, last section. How to say goodbye. So there are a lot of ways. So I have distinguished the two ways in two categories. Okay? First category is the most basic, generic ways to say goodbye. Au revoir. Au revoir. Salut. Salut. Au revoir et salut are the two most generic ways you can say goodbye. They would both translate as bye or bye-bye in English. Au revoir is the equivalent of bonjour, but to say goodbye. It's the most generic, it's never inappropriate, it's never awkward, it's always like the go-to solution, okay? Salut is the equivalent of salut, but for goodbye, okay? You can use the word salut, written the same and pronounced the same, to say hello and to say goodbye indifferentially, like with no difference, okay? I'm trying to use words in English that are too difficult for me. So, salut to say goodbye is also for slightly less formal context, okay? For example, you just arrived in the new workplace, you don't say salut to your boss to say goodbye. You say au revoir, okay? That's like common sense. No, you can say bonne journée, or bonne soirée, bonne soirée. It's literally like have a nice day, have a nice evening, okay? So if you're saying goodbye to someone, but it's like 10 a.m., you can say bonne journée. It's mean like, okay, bye bye, have a nice day, okay? And it's really a nice touch to say this to someone when you are leaving them still early in the day, in my opinion, because once again, it shows that you're like doing some effort to know the local words in a way, you know? And bonne soirée is like if you're, if it's like from, like in winter from like 5 p.m., you know, and in summer from like 7 p.m. maybe, you say goodbye to someone, you can say bonne soirée, have a nice evening, okay? When you leave someone in the evening. It's really the equivalent of saying bonsoir to greet someone, you say bonne soirée to say bye-bye, okay? No, au revoir, bonne journée, bonne soirée, they kind of imply that you are not going to see the person again today. So it's not a crime, you know, if you still see the person today, but it's kind of implied that at least you don't plan to meet the person the same day. But there are ways to say goodbye to someone if you plan specifically to see them again, okay? So if you say à tout à l'heure, or à plus tard, both expression literally means see you later, okay? And it implies when you say them that you are planning to see the person again later today, all right? So if you're in your 9 to 5 cubicle job or in your open space, you know, it's 5 p.m., you go home and you want to say goodbye to your boss, normally you don't say à tout à l'heure because it would imply that you're going to meet them at night, which is like, it's a bit weird, right? So anyway, if you say à bientôt, it's kind of like saying see you soon. You're not specifically stating when you are going to see the person again, but basically you're going, like it's planned that you're going to meet them a few days from now. For example, I had a student recently. I don't think he will be watching this video because he's more like a B1 level, okay? But sometimes we had more than one class during the week, okay? It was like private lessons, one-to-one lesson online. We had more than one class during the week. And so at the end of the lesson, he would tell me, all right, au revoir, à bientôt, because we know that we're going to see each other again, even if it's virtually, you know, like in 2 days, for example, okay? And last one is à demain, which is literally, okay, bye-bye, see you tomorrow. So in this case, obviously, you're planning to see the person again tomorrow, okay? So, quick review of everything that we have seen here so far. Let's go. First, saying hello to someone. You have bonjour, salut, bonsoir, ça va? Comment ça va? Ça va et toi? Ça va. Ça va bien. About physical contact, this is the tab I showed you earlier. If you are in a formal context, just go for shaking hands. If you are in an informal context, and if you are a woman, then it's more to do la bise. Or if you're a man greeting a woman, you should do la bise also. But if you're a man greeting a man, you should go for a handshake. And if you're in a friendly context, you just do anything that you want. Okay, that's like you. It's not my business. Then, third point, telling your name to someone. Je m'appelle Nicolas. Comment tu t'appelles? Comment vous vous appelez? Enchanté. Nice to meet you. Enchanté. Your nationality. Tu viens d'où? Je viens de France. Et toi? Je suis iranien. Je suis français. Je suis française. Je suis américain. Je suis espagnol, etc. In the formal way, vous venez d'où? Je viens de France. Et vous? Je suis iranienne. Telling your age. Sorry, I drink a bit because my throat is really super dry. Tu as quel âge? Vous avez quel âge? This is to ask the age. Hein? Tu as quel âge? Vous avez quel âge? J'ai 29 ans. J'ai 34 ans. J'ai ans. Okay. Saying goodbye. Au revoir. Salut. bonne journée, bonne soirée, à tout à l'heure, à plus tard, à bientôt, à demain. Okay, quick final grammar point before going to the exercise. Okay, this is about the questions because some of you may have noticed that the way I have put these questions in this guide is not exactly the same way. I maybe some stuff that they have encountered elsewhere. Okay, so this will be a bit tricky, but I still want to talk a bit about this. These are the questions that I have taught you in this guide. Tu t'appelles comment? Tu as quel âge? Tu viens d'où? So, what's your name? How old are you? Where do you come from? Here, I have put in bold the question word, okay? Comment, quel âge, et d'où. All right? We can change the way that we formulate these questions, okay? I will show you how. So this is like, just follow along with me and you will understand, okay? This question word, we put it at the beginning of the sentence. First of all, these questions, they are valid. You can really say them and they are really like normal, formal. They are not inappropriate or anything. You can say, tu t'appelles comment? Tu as quel âge? Tu viens d'où? They are valid, okay? But there's a way to formulate them differently. Not better, just differently, okay? So, the question word we put in the beginning. It makes, comment tu t'appelles? Quel âge tu as? D'où tu viens? This way, you can also ask the question. Grammatically, these are 100% correct. Comment tu t'appelles? Quel âge tu as? D'où tu viens? They are just slightly less formal, okay? For example, maybe if you just like meet your super scary boss for the first time, you don't use this way to ask. It's better to use the previous way, okay? But these are still 100% valid ways to ask the question. Now, you can swap the words that I have put in bold here, so you can take the rest of the sentence, not the question word, but the rest of the sentence, which is actually the subject tu and the verb appelle, tu as, tu viens, and you swap them, and then it becomes more formal. Comment t'appelles-tu? Quel âge as-tu? D'où viens-tu? So these are also 100% grammatically correct questions. Now about the tricky part. The thing is that doing this process turns the sentence in a very formal state. The issue is that now you're using tu, and tu is used in the less formal context. So you use this very formal structure, but you don't use the very formal subject that should be vous, right? So it sounds weird when you say it like this. It's correct, but it sounds strange. When I say strange, I mean it sounds super old school. It sounds like how people speak in the movies from 100 years ago, basically, okay? Or like 50 years ago. Like let's not exaggerate too much, all right? So, like don't speak like this in real life. You, as a foreign learner, I'm telling you, you will not have the opportunity to speak like this soon in any way, because no one speaks like this in French, okay? But this way is okay, all right? Because this way, like I told you, is slightly less formal, which is okay because you are using tu, all right? Now, let's look at with vous. The question with vous are, vous vous appelez comment? Vous avez quel âge? Vous venez d'où? Okay? So now it's exactly the same process as I was saying. I take the question word and I put it in the beginning. Comment vous vous appelez? Quel âge vous avez? D'où vous venez? So now it makes the sentence slightly less formal. But you are using vous, which is the subject for the very formal sentences. So now it's this one that looks a bit strange, okay? So I suggest that you don't use these sentences. You don't use this structure because it's strange. But now, if I do the final step just like before, I take the subject and the verb and I swap them, then it becomes 100% correct and you can use it and it's fine because everything aligns on the formal spectrum, okay? But be careful, it's really formal, okay? Comment vous appelez-vous? Quel âge avez-vous? D'où venez-vous? It's really formal, but if it's used in the right context, in my opinion, it can be a bit charming, you know. It shows that you really have a proper understanding of the French language. And it's like, you know, it's just like a charming thing to say and like a very nice way to ask the questions. Okay? All right, if that's okay for you, I have cut my camera now. And we will do 3 short exercises. Okay, so now is the time for you to practice what we have learned so far. I let you read through this dialogue, okay? There are blanks in the dialogue. I will read the dialogue for you and you will write down the sentences that I'm saying, okay? So you will fill in the blank with what I say. So this is a listening exercise, all right? If you're ready, let's go. Bonjour. Salut. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Et toi? Ça va. Comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Stéphanie. Et toi? Je m'appelle Antoine. Enchanté. Tu as quel âge, Antoine? J'ai 25 ans. Et toi? J'ai 22 ans. I think this is quite easy because I have let some of the words that you need to write on the screen on purpose, okay? I will read it one more time and then we will look at the solution. If you need to, you can pause after my sentences. I know I talk a bit fast. You can put the video on like 0.65 speed or this kind of like, just do anything that's comfortable for you. Bonjour. Oh, also the cursor of my mouse follows what I'm reading. Bonjour. Salut. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Et toi? Ça va. Comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Stéphanie. Et toi? Je m'appelle Antoine. Enchanté. Tu as quel âge, Antoine? J'ai 25 ans. Et toi? J'ai 22 ans. Here's the solution for you to compare what you have written with the solution, basically. Okay? Now, exercise 2 is exactly the same. Same listening exercise. Let's go. Tu es français? Non. Je suis sénégalais. Et toi? Je suis thaïlandaise. Tu viens ici demain? Oui. Toi aussi? Oui. Alors, à demain. Au revoir. À demain. Tu es français? Non. Je suis sénégalais. Et toi? Je suis thaïlandaise. Tu viens ici demain? Oui. Toi aussi? Oui. Alors, à demain. Au revoir. À demain. Here's the solution. I think the sentence tu viens ici demain is a bit tricky, almost kind of like a trap because we didn't study this sentence. However, we have studied tu viens because it's like tu viens d'où? All right. So you're supposed to be able to write it. Okay. Exercise 3 is really easy. It's for you to fill in your presentation. So, bonjour, je m'appelle. Please fill it with your first name. J'ai en. Please fill it with what you know. Et je viens de je suis, and je suis your nationality. Okay? So just look online, like look up for the words, and then you will have your short introduction, and you're supposed to understand everything that you're saying in these sentences, not just learning by heart, but understanding what you say. And so you can practice reading it out loud. Congratulations, here's mine. Bonjour, je m'appelle Nicolas. J'ai 27 ans. Je viens de France. Je suis français. Ok les amis, c'est terminé. That's it for today. I think that's already pretty good. Congratulations, now you can properly introduce yourself in French. I'm proud of you guys. Bon courage à tous ceux qui révisent, bon courage à tous ceux qui étudient ou peut-être qui passent des examens bientôt. À bientôt les amis, à la prochaine.